Hi, this is Dan Langley, and welcome to another episode of Eye-Opening Discussions. I'm here again with my bestie Brooke, and we're on location here in Pahoa, Hawaii, where we have some acreage that we are trying to develop into a sustainable farming, and a regenerative and biodynamic farming as well. And on the way here, we had discussed several, questions that we had that arose.
Well, we started off trying to, we are filming a documentary at the vision of this master right here. It's amazing. And there's a couple different properties and there's a whole segment that's coming out about it. But as we came to the state of Hawaii, I do believe that I'm encountering a couple things that I never anticipated.
Okay, well tell me about that.
I think that with your passion of creating this farm life, it seems that there's been a struggle on getting the people, the natives of Hawaii, to participate.
I can understand that. There's lots of historical, historical and cultural events that have occurred that have made, Hawaiians somewhat skeptical of mainlanders, and we're mainlanders. And I remember that surfing movie back in the 80s, they call them haoles. So I guess I'm a haole, I guess you're a haole.
I've never been one. I'll take it though. Double, yes. I think that also the other thing is that you truly have proven yourself over and over again in this project over the last 3 years. You are really trying to create more jobs, more food for everyone, and kind of to put the nutrients back into the earth to give back to the land.
Even though you may be earnest in your desires to help someone, sometimes the recipient is just not ready to receive at that time. And that's challenging. If someone it feels earnestly that they want to give you advice or to give you perspective or even help either financially or emotionally. And sometimes you meet resistance where that person is not quite ready to receive that help, either due to skepticism, due to fear, due to shame, like they may feel like I should be smart enough, strong enough, emotionally stable enough to solve this problem on my own, and even guilt that they shouldn't ask for help as well. So
it's hard to ask for help. At least in my personality, as you know.
Yeah, I think it is. And I think therein lies an interesting dynamic that I think is deserved of questioning in order to probe it, to understand it a little bit more, is that, what is our desire? Why do we have the desire to help people? And why do we have the desire to either seek help or even deny or avoid help? And I think those are interesting psychological questions that we're kind of in real time experiencing those here on the island. And the dynamics, I think, are very diverse. And it's not just a one perspective kind of fits all. Right. And I believe it does allow us some moments of contemplation to just say, and if we're not aware enough to question that, we can sometimes take it offensively. And you can say, oh my gosh, they don't want my help. Is it because, I'm a mainlander? Is it because I'm white? Is it because of other things that I have personally done as an individual? And that I think provides an opportunity for us to suspend our ego in a little bit if we're aware enough. The Toltecs, the 4 agreements that they have is to not take things personally. And that's a challenge because I think we're all in a position that almost everything that happens in our life, whether it's the sun rises or it rains, we take it personally. It's like, oh my God, it's raining today. Oh, it's all my fault. Somebody doesn't like me or somebody doesn't respect me.
You gotta let it not deter you from the goal, the overall, like what we're trying to achieve. And as we come in and we are getting together and we're rushing around and we go to grab something quick to eat before we get in the car, because everywhere you have to drive, you could be 10 miles away and it's gonna take an hour and a half. Yeah. And so it gives us a lot of time to kind of talk and contemplate. And I went to go grab a few things this morning and I was shocked. There's 0 fruit. And somewhere that is so lush and this entire environment is about growing fruit.
Yeah, and that brought up an interesting question. Is like, Hawaii is such a beautiful place, yet we found out that they maybe import 80 to 90% of their produce and of their foodstuffs. And I found that shocking in a way that a land that's so fertile, that has a 360 degree or 365 day a year growing cycle, that they would import a lot of the food that they eat.
I was shocked by that. I had no idea. I thought that everywhere would be from their homeland. And that just lets us know that right now we're in a world that we're an instant gratification society, and even the people that are among their own homeland that could pick the avocado that we jokingly did a little skip for, where I act like I didn't want it.
Once that avocado ripens, you will love it. It's a nice
wait.
buttery avocado. Like, oh, it's so delicious.
I want it in my belly. But it's amazing. And as we talk, there's a lot of helpful, beautiful, wonderful, accepting people. And then you run into some people that just do not want to deal with you, and that's okay as well. But it's for us to learn that we stick on our path and realize sometimes people want the help. They'll take that avocado from you, and sometimes they're just going to shun it, and they never want you to touch it. And so that's the struggle that we're in right now, because you came here with really great anticipation.
Yeah, and like we've said in previous episodes, I believe that the struggle sometimes determines the lesson that's hidden within that.
Yeah.
And so it's Napoleon Hill had said, the solution to every problem is found within the problem itself. Now, of course, I'm paraphrasing, but I believe there's something to be said about that. If we see a situation where we meet resistance or we encounter frustration or agitation or irritation, that sometimes it's just the way that we look at that problem, but sometimes reframing the problem in a way that is more helpful, indeed, is what helps us get the problem, or which helps us come up with the solution.
We came here with the solution that we thought we were going to help everywhere, and as we talk to people, we're learning that there's a lot more different elements that they need at hand. So I'm wearing a hat from Kona, like salt. Yeah. This is a great experience. We went there and had this amazing behind scenes, how they make all the salt, and we started learning that a lot of the products that say Hawaii are not even grown here or made here, or they're packaging them here. Big, huge corporations come in and they're making a different type of salt that's not this one, and they're packaging it from Hawaii. And
I discovered that kind of on my own before we came here, is that I ordered some sea salt from Hawaii, Hawaiian sea salt, and I brought it back to my alchemy lab and I processed it to see if it has kind of a vital new, or a new element in there. It's like called orbitally rearranged monoatomic elements. And I process things that are alive and full of vitality, and I can easily extract that living essence or the ormus from it. And it just so happened that this salt that's packaged in Hawaii, or I thought that it was from Hawaii, was devoid of any ormus. And so it got me questioning, what is in the food that we eat? And are the labels that say this is made in Hawaii or grown in Hawaii or repackaged in Hawaii, or that says that this fruit is organic or that this is nutritious for us, how accurate are those labels? And what goes into determining whether the food that we put inside of our body is actually going to sustain it or actually just deplete our pocketbook?
Exactly. Well, I think that we came here for a great story about the path that you have, and now we're learning even more, and we're able to make it better.
Yeah, ultimately that's what we're doing. That's what eye-opening discussions is all about, is just not questioning our circumstances or reality just to be obstinate, but truly probing the reasons why we think the way that we think, and ultimately why society and or our reality is the way it is. And simply by questioning that, we gain a little bit of a better understanding. The question not asked leads to or allows the situation to be full of ignorance. But simply by asking a question provides a little bit more clarity. And the more questions you ask, the more perspectives you can gain, the more understanding, and that ultimately leads to wisdom. So that's the whole purpose of eye-opening discussions, is just to simply find the answers to the questions that we're either been convinced not to ask or that we're just too shy to ask. And by having enough courage to ask those questions, you will get the answers. And so the topic came up, it's like, well, what are we grateful for? And what gets us excited? And it's very challenging to I don't want to say challenging. It's very exciting to just be on the island of Hawaii. In fact, Hawaii is one of the newest pieces of land that have been created in the world. And that energy of creation kind of permeates it when you get off that plane and you get really excited. There's a sparkling energy that's in the air.
There is. I have to say, there's definitely a new way of life over here, one that I do not find in Oklahoma. Whenever I leave in Oklahoma, I try to brush my teeth and brush my hair, but it's nice to be.
Your teeth today?
I brush my teeth, but I'm just saying it was bare minimum, and everyone accepts it. They don't think twice about it because they just sort of like chill. It's island time. Everything's laid back, and it's all good.
Yeah, and I really appreciate that. When we're on the mainland, we tend to go, get up early, do all of our rituals, whether it be cold plunging or breath work or saunas, and then we hustle up to work and do our 45 cases, and then hustle home and try to get your workout in, and then try to hustle to sleep. So like Arnold Schwarzenegger, like, I need to sleep faster.
I walked through a garden yesterday that was astounding with all this life and things I never stopped to like look at or smell or take a moment to just appreciate.
Yeah.
And here you get to appreciate everything. We're in the middle of a field. Look around. Like, it's beauty everywhere. Colors. The colors. Guys, at home we talked about the white cars yesterday, the black cars. You don't see red, you don't see pink, you don't see green, you don't see blue. Some of us just default to black all the time. And I mean, like, it's easy. It goes with everything. But like, even this hat and stuff, I love the colorful stuff about it. You're a color dude.
Yeah, yes, yes. Yeah.
You're always colorful. Always colorful.
And so when we're here, we can't but be inspired with a new form of kind of vigor that just gets us. And then we have a moment to just reflect on what are we grateful about. So while we're here in Hawaii, I'm very excited that there's never been a better time in human history where more people are connected with their smart devices online. We've never had as much knowledge that we have before, and a better opportunity to try to understand that knowledge, where we're not afraid that we'll be thrown in jail for expressing our opinion, or that we'll be burned at the stake for expressing a different idea of what spirituality means. And I'm very excited and optimistic and passionate about the opportunity that lies before us. And so that's why I'm truly excited to question exactly where we are in our lives. And is there something that we could be more appreciative of?
Yeah,
and
we're so connected,
yeah,
but yet disconnected. Like, our feet are not in the grass, we're not admiring the plants. And in Hawaii, you have to take a few minutes to do that. And
no matter where you are located in the world, I believe wherever you're at, there you are, and you can pause to take a moment to just be grateful for your surroundings. Most of us usually have food and water and clothing, and so just to be grateful for those blessings. And all we have to do is just get out in the sun and receive the warming spirit of that vitality that it offers, and breathe deeply through our nose and feel that invigoration. And then it's almost impossible to not feel grateful about something.
I will say Hawaii has made me be more grateful of you.
Oh, how so?
You, because the idea that has pivoted multiple times, you still are sticking to the course. And even though things might change, and we talked about weeds being pulled and that sort of thing, it still is leaving a lasting impression on so many people. You gave them opportunities, and they know this generous man gave it to them. And so to see what you've done with the land and where we are today, no matter where it goes, I feel grateful that I got to watch you do this.
Well, I'm very grateful for that you're grateful. And I'm super excited that our production team has been able to join me here in this location that I feel so much inspiration from. When we look at the problems that kind of plague society now, all we have to do is just envision a new paradigm, and one where everyone is afforded the benefits of the earth, or whether it be food, clothing, shelter. And I believe we are moving in that direction. I'm actively working towards that end, where we envision a society that is helpful and optimistic, and has grown into a society that no longer is corrupted, and that we are right on the cusp of a burgeoning AI industry that maybe will provide the necessary tools and guidance to allow humanity to rise above its basest needs, where we don't always have to feel fear. We don't have to feel scarcity or guilt or shame, because we don't have to feel any of those things.
We have abundance.
Yeah, we really do.
We just
really
have
do.
a distribution problem. A wise person said that yesterday.
Yes,
that's all we have.
do. And so if we could use artificial intelligence to streamline the distribution process, whether it's for clean water across the world. You know, the world is over 70% water, and there shouldn't be any reason why there shouldn't be fresh water to every square inch on the planet. Whether it's clean air or clean energy, and whether we use fossil fuels as a bridge to get us towards clean energy, there are other forms of energy that have yet to be revealed to humanity, and that could easily provide as much electricity as you want to every single person on the planet.
I'm up for the challenge.
Yeah, and so I'm excited just about the opportunity to share my ideas. And of course, they just start off in the mental realm. And when you think about those ideas long enough, you become passionate enough, and you really feel like these ideas can gain traction. And then you start taking action towards that realization of those heartfelt ideas. And then nothing can stop you. And the more intensely you pursue your heartfelt ideas, the more quickly those ideas will come to fruition. That's why we're here on location here, is that I could keep these ideas about filming a documentary about our food supply and the current state of our medicine supply. And that's what we're doing during this week, is we're gaining the information that we need and the footage to create a new paradigm for our health and happiness. Oh, and another thing is that we were at a salt farm yesterday as collecting some of our footage, and to taste the fresh salt that's been cultivated from a 2,200 foot reservoir in the ocean, and to taste the energy that's just within the salt itself. We're just talking about basic building blocks of salt, not the salt that we get on the table at home, but this salt really provided a certain type of vitality. Just I could feel my taste buds
my tongue
tingling.
still. It's so good. 14 flavors of amazingness.
And who would have thought that just simply sea salt could energize you so much? But that will be discussed in our documentary. And when you then taste the fruit that's grown on the land, that in the land is just the cultivation of the minerals that are in the sea. Yes.
Cannot wait.
And when you taste the fruit, you taste the difference between traditionally grown food and organically or Hawaiian grown food. And you can feel the difference in energy. And discovering what that difference actually is, we will keep probing and asking the questions: is why is there a difference between the food that's grown in Hawaii? Or why is there a difference between food that is grown in soil that is curated to have more nutrients in the soil? Why is there a difference in biodynamic farming practices and the nutritional value of foods that are grown in the Barefoot Farm in Kentucky that adheres to biodynamic farming principles? What is it that makes that food so much more nutritious for you? And why is the food that we eat determine the vitality and the health of our body? We don't ask those questions enough, but we will, and we'll get to the bottom of that. And so despite how excited I am, I'm also refreshed and reassured that if we just simply take the time to be here now, right, and enjoy our 5 senses that God has given us, that we just look around and see the beauty that is, the vibrant colors that are available. When we feel the breeze tickling our arm hairs, and we just feel the energy from the sun and the warmth on our skin. When we pick a fruit and we smell the vibrant aromas that it offers, and we then taste that succulent fruit, and it's just delicious. We hear the sound when we just pause and listen, the sound of the animals, the insects making their noise, the birds chirping, and even when we're closer to the beach and we hear the sound of the waves crashing against the ocean. All that stimulation to our senses provides a sense of almost like balanced serenity, excited serenity, if I could even if those two words can go together. But this place kind of provides that. And so if you can find a moment in your life where you can enjoy your senses and find a piece of calm through that, I believe that you'll find much more happiness in your life. So again, thank you for joining us on this episode of Eye-Opening Discussions.
And I'm going to recharge my battery.
Where simply just questioning your reality will provide you with greater happiness and prosperity. So thank you for joining us.